Civil Society Organizations, Part 1. There has been a dramatic expansion in the size, scope, and capacity of civil society organizations, CSOs, around the globe over the past decade. This unprecedented growth has been spurred by the process of globalization and the expansion of democratic governance, telecommunication, economic integration, and economic integrations. CSOs have also become important actors for delivery of social services and implementation of other development programs as a complement to government actions, especially in regions where government presence is weak, such as in post-conflict situations. Important changes appear to be underway in civil society across the world. Civil society organizations, CSOs, have been subject to considerable criticism and doubt over the past decade. After enjoying an enormous expansion and heightened attention throughout the developing and post-communist worlds in the 1990s, influential observers and analysts in many quarters decry a predominant focus on Western-style non-governmental organizations, the NGOs. They argue that these groups are looking increasingly ineffective and tired and out of touch. Some of these critics, however, argue that more broad-based citizen movements are starting to reinvigorate the civic sphere with dynamic and fluid forms of the civic organizations emerging and gaining a significant presence in political and social debates. The rise of such groups appears to reflect a determination to hold governments to account. Citizens appear less tolerant of nepotism and corruption, and they are mobilizing through many kinds of campaigns to bear down on self-serving elites. People have also begun to organize themselves with local communities and neighborhoods in search of more equitable decisions about practical and everyday issues, about the more equitable decisions about practical issues and everyday concerns. Moreover, information communication technology is generating fundamental changes in the structures of social organizations. What some analysts refer to as a new contentious politics has taken root. This is not limited to particular regions and the regime types, but is increasingly global. Large-scale protests have flared up in the scores of states across every region. Many of these appear to have emerged with a degree of spontaneity involving tens of thousands of citizens who previously were not politically active. Such is their ubiquity that these protests have become a defining feature of modern politics. The revolts embrace a range of causes. Some are about democratic revolutions, some about neoliberalism and globalization, some about specific cases of corruption, and others about very local issues. If their driving motivations are different, so are their outcomes. Some of the new civic mobilizations have ousted regimes. Some have won major concessions from incumbent governments. Others have failed in their declared aims. Given this diversity, it is necessary to understand civic activism in a broad sense. That includes the activities of formal organizations as professional NGOs, long-established civil society bodies, looser and newer social movements, individual activist and local community bodies. We'll tell you more about the same in our next video, Civil Society Organization Part 2.